Namaste. I'm Jill Loftus of Newt Astrology. I'd like to welcome you to your yearly forecast for 2022. This is the extended version. Please do hop on the website and check out, I have a blog that goes with this. It's going to list specific dates, give you a little bit more information. But this is more of an overview. My shorter one was a really brief overview, but I'm giving you more of a broad look at things versus a bunch of dates of new moons and full moons and things like that. So let's hop in and talk about the primary energies that are going to be working, that we'll be working with through 2022. We're going to start off with Venus, Pluto, and Mars in Capricorn. So we finished up December with Venus touching Pluto in the late degrees of Capricorn. Super important that you know where the late degrees of Capricorn are in your personal birth chart so that you can understand where you're having to restructure your life to a certain extent. We're really looking at value systems. We're looking at Venusian things like love and money and resources. And this period in December, hopefully you were like paying attention to some of that stuff, because we're going to be evaluating, re-experiencing those energies, but we're going to be doing it with Mars there as well. So Mars and Venus are going to be dancing throughout the beginning of the year and also moving on and off of Pluto. So the three of them coming together. This is what astrologers would call a stellium, and it's super powerful energy. The kind of energies merge together to create a force that's greater than each of the individual ones. And when we're talking about Pluto, that's the energy of death and regeneration and restructuring in Capricorn, which is about structures. So pay attention to what needs to be, where you need to let go a little bit, where you need to change up how you spend your money, how you spend your time, how you allocate your resources. Now this flows directly into February, where we are experiencing in the United States what we call Pluto return. So it takes 248 years for Pluto to go all the way around the chart. And so individuals don't really ever experience a Pluto return. We don't live that long. But countries, cities, businesses, they do if they live long enough. Now, the United States is a very young country, and so this is our first Pluto return. And it is a time when you really peel back the curtains and see what's going on behind the scenes. Pluto is about regeneration. It can also be about death. It's about the old, letting go of the old and moving into the new. But there's more of a purge kind of effect. This is something that astrologers have been looking at for a while, and our first hit is in February. Now, it's going to happen 3 times for the United States, but I keep looking to February as being the month where the writing will really be on the wall to a certain extent. Now, keep in mind, not only is this Venus, or is this Pluto returning to the point where the United States was formed, Mars and Venus are going to be there as well. And so the planets of love and power, of war and of money, like all coming together with Pluto. This is a lot. It's a lot to experience. It's really a year that's going to start off with a bang. So pay attention to the Capricorn area of your chart for that individually, but also take a good look at the collective as we move into February and see where the writing's going to be on the wall to a certain extent about the themes that are going to play out throughout this year. Now, the next energy I want to talk to you about are the nodes changing signs. And these are the nodes of the moon. The North Node and the South Node are moving into Taurus, North Node, Scorpio, South Node. This is big news. Why? Because, well, every about 18 months, the nodes change signs. We just experienced Sagittarius and Gemini. Now we're going to Taurus and Scorpio. But this is a really big piece of news because Uranus has been in Taurus now and is still there, restructuring the earth itself, things that relate to resources, all of the Tauran things. Keep in mind, this is while Venus, which rules Taurus, is going through this regenerative experience of retrograding and moving forward with Pluto and Mars. So the node's changing signs. North Node in Taurus. We really have a lot of restructuring to do as far as our Tauran parts of our chart. And as far as Scorpio, that is also a regenerative force. So big changes in this axis of your chart. Big changes with money, big changes with resources, big changes with the banking system, with how we grow and purchase our food. themes about this and the earth itself are going to be coming up over and over. And with Uranus here coming into some new degrees and actually meeting the nodes, that's really going to be some fated karmic changes evolving in that Taurus area of the chart. So paying attention to that, you're going to get your first few symbols in January. But really, it's in the middle of the year that we get a lot of the bigger news around those types of events. The next energy to pay attention to for 2022 is Jupiter. So the very last week of 2021, Jupiter moved into the sign of Pisces again, and it dipped in there just over the summer a little bit. Now it's going to just blast straight through Pisces and end up in Aries in May. So we've got this just 4 months of opportunity to really experience Jupiter in a sign that loves to be in. I love this energy. I'm really hopeful for this energy. This could be very much spiritualizing things. This could be new art, music, just inspiration, a little bit of luck, a little bit of healing, maybe a little bit more positivity in the subconscious mind and therefore the collective mind. But that's only if we do it in the high vibe way. What lower vibrational things could happen is that it could amplify delusion. It could amplify despair. It could amplify any addictive qualities or things that you like to distract yourself with. So pay attention to that. This will also bring a lot of focus, I think, on media, particularly when Jupiter in Pisces meets Neptune in Pisces, and this is in April. Really, really big event. Why? Well, the last time that they met in Pisces was 1856. So there's no one alive that's experienced this, okay? This is new. But we can look back to what happened in 1856 to kind of inform what this energy might mean now. In that year, there was a lot of flooding, tsunamis, which kind of makes sense. Jupiter, right? Making things bigger. Neptune, water, Pisces, water. So paying attention to things like that. Also, big emotions, big feelings. Big spiritual opportunity here, but also a big opportunity to glamorize things or to be deluded or find illusion. 1856 was a time period in the United States where several events happened that led to the Civil War, the American Civil War. So this is a period what we need to be very cautious and careful with as a collective, especially because of this Pluto return for the United States chart as well. So pay attention to the information that you're receiving, pay attention to the groups of people that you're spending time with, make sure that you're really gaining clarity, clearness, tap into your own intuition. When you feel something's false, when you feel like someone is not on the up and up, there's just something wrong or you're suspicious about something, honor that. I'm not saying go down the rabbit hole on these conspiracy theories or anything. Trust me, I I don't trust many things or many people. But learn to tap in and trust your intuition. That is going to be one of the greatest things that you can do here in this year of 2022, this year of transition. All right, now let me check my notes here. Again, I'll be posting this shortly so you guys can take a look at this. Then Jupiter, because it just moves through Pisces so quickly, it moves into Aries in May 12th. So that is going to be a brand new piece of energy as well, because Jupiter in Aries is completely different than Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter in Aries wants to tell people what to do, wants to be independent, wants what it wants, goes for what it wants, has a lot of drive, a lot of fire, a lot of ideas around justice and what should be done. So this is a really, really big change. And then it will dip back into Pisces just a little bit during the retrograde at the end of the year. Recommit to Aries next year. Another thing to pay attention to is Chiron. Chiron is going to be traversing some new territory, and it is also in Aries. So that's again May, June, July, August. We're really looking at this Aries energy coming into focus, coming into hyper focus. Chiron's going to be going 12 to 16 degrees of Aries. This is not a territory that it hasn't been in for quite a while. So pay attention, particularly if you have sensitive points or if you are in Aries or a Libra, because that's going to be triggering that axis of the chart. All right. We start out the year with Mercury retrograding But when we get to February 3rd, Mercury goes direct, and of course it'll be in the shadow for a little bit, and Venus will still be in the shadow, but all planets are direct until April 29th. This is your time period to get things done. This is a time period to be adept. This is a time period to make sure that you're organized and have it together so that as things begin to change, you're going to be responding to stuff. Things are going to be happening. And then we slide into May, and we've got that new energy of Jupiter into Aries. So really pay attention to that. Make sure you use the beginning of the year, the first month. Really, January is the time to kind of get yourself organized for the intensity of February, March, April, May. And then the later part of the year, things start to slow down when things start to retrograde. Now, this means we'll still be dealing with the fallout of the things that have occurred. We're still going to have the 3 hits of the Pluto to the United States Pluto return. But I'm thinking of this when I looked at the whole year and was trying to decide how to put it into manageable gulps. I put it as a play with 4 acts. So my first act is January 1st, 2022 to March 19th, 2022. And this is when we really pay attention to the Capricorn section of the chart. Whatever those themes were in December, they're going to be volume up in January and February. This is also when we see that first hit of the United States Pluto return. Let's see, and I'm looking, yeah. So that's going to be when we pay attention to that. Then, when we get to Act 2, that's March 20th to May 23rd. Now, that's a pretty short time period, but there's a lot that happens in this time period. And I selected March 20th to be that launch because that is the spring equinox. It's the astrological new year. The sun goes to Aries. And that's a time to really pay attention to maybe some hints of what this new Aries, Jupiter Aries energy will bring. There's a new moon on April the 1st that also has the nodes, newly in Taurus and Scorpio, in a conflict with Saturn. So this is a time when we really get a bigger picture view of where we need to make some real systemic changes. Last year, Saturn square Uranus, right? This time, Saturn squaring the nodes. It's asking us if we're starting to make the changes to that Taurus, to those Taurus-ruled things, again, money, values, food, things along those lines. If we've made those changes, or we're making the changes that we need to make it so that it's sustainable. All right. Then I've got Act 3, May 24th to September 24th. And May 24th is the day that Mars goes into Aries. So we're already having Jupiter in Aries, and then we have Chiron in Aries, and now we're going to have Mars moving into Aries. So Mars loves to be in Aries. Mars rules Aries. And so, boom, there's going to be a lot of action. This is going to trigger things too. Mars tends to be like a spark that kind of can really either illuminate or set aflame certain aspects. And so we really are integrating some of those changes that happened at the beginning of the year. This is more the integration period. And then we get to what I call Act 4, September 25th to December 31st. And that September 25th date is a new moon in Scorpio at 1 degree, 59 minutes. So almost 2 degrees of Scorpio. And this is a moon that's very active. It's right across the sky from Neptune. It's touching Venus, trining Pluto, touching Mercury, touching the sun, opposing Jupiter. Very busy moon. All right. But this is really kind of, as we move into the outer planets starting to retrograde, it's going to be an integration period of what happened at the beginning of the year. So it's very important that we're keeping good journals, we're keeping good notes, we're paying attention, we're tapping in, so that when these retrogrades and we have to redo, rethink, re-examine some of the changes that became clear, the things that became clear at the beginning of the year of what we needed to do, so that we can actually begin to integrate that as we move into the end of the year. And we wrap up the end of the year with eclipse season. So the eclipses are going to be April-May range, and then October-November range. And eclipses are activators. So those little kind of bridging areas between, the acts of the year are going to really activate that Taurus Scorpio axis of the chart again. So major themes of the year: Lots of changes with resources, with money, banking, crypto, all that's going to be high focus. Food, weather-related events that relate to food and resources, supply chain stuff, still going to be a big issue. Really examining as an individual, as a community, as a society, what do we value? What's important to us? How are we going to allocate our resources? How are we going to work together? Because, you know, the Aquarian age, a lot of people say we're in the Aquarian age. I would dispute that. I kind of think it's going to be when Pluto gets into Aquarius. But that's coming soon. Pluto is wrapping up its journey through Capricorn that began in 2008. And think about the structures of your inner and outer universe that have evolved since then, and what needs to be completed, what evolution needs to be completed to the structures so that we can live a sustainable and happy, healthy life on this planet. Those are the major themes. All right, well, I hope this was useful, helpful. Please do check out the blog. This will give you more specific dates. These ranges, you can mark them on your calendar. I'll be with you every step of the way. We'll be meeting every week for the weekly planetary energy forecast, and then, of course, the monthly planetary energy forecast as well. I wish for you a year of peace, of joy, of health, and happiness, and I appreciate your support. If you found this useful and helpful, please share it with your friends. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Namaste. Bye.